Hey, um, well, it's around 4 a.m. here in New Jersey, America, and I wanted to title this video "Check Boxes, Empty Spaces: A Quest for Success." Um, a little background about me is I wasn't a great student in school or university. Um, and then I just realized, I think, in university that, okay, dude, I'm messing up my life and I need to make better choices. So then I completely transitioned from like a dumb boy to a good boy. And then I started studying and working hard and doing entrance exams and coming to the US and all of that. And then got a job and then quit that job and got another job and pursued entrepreneurship. And I'm building this company with my friends and I pursued different things. And I wanted to start a YouTube and I started writing and I had all of these different ideas, which was great. I obviously think that this method of life is better than the method where I was absolutely doing nothing. Um, but then again, I took the path, the path that was like structured, which was engineering, masters, job, success, wife, kids. I don't have the wife, kids part yet, but there, I'm somewhere there. Um, and the idea here is that most people, so I'm here, and I went to New York today. I took a bus, I went to Manhattan, I had a cup of coffee with someone, and I came back and I realized that, okay, most people in the world would think that that's an absolute dream. But what I want to tell you is like, I get so sad sometimes even living this life. I get so overwhelmed, I get so upset, and this is primarily because of the responsibility that I take in my own life, in addition to the responsibility that you're normally supposed to take. I take more, and I just would like to clarify that it's not as glorified as people think it is. Um, the the reaching the destination or being in a city or being in a first world country is absolutely not glorified. The constant mental agony that you'll have to go with, which is inflicted upon you and also internally inflicted because of the things that you have to deal with, is just the human experience, which is something that I wanted to convey, is that the path that most people think will lead to happiness is not going to bring you happiness. Happiness is very simple. Happiness is literally the most simple life. Trust me, I am starting to realize that if you truly crave happiness, then you need to give up this complete model that we've been prescribed to live in, this capitalistic model, this society that we're programmed to be a part of. Because uh, let's be very realistic, like with respect to this society that tells you that, hey, I'm going to give you a fat paycheck. Let's talk about their happiness index. Let's talk about the stress levels. Let's talk about the health crises that this way of life is bringing about. This isn't the ideal way of life. This isn't the ideal way of like the human experience. This is a way of life that fuels materialistic success, that feels good because it brings a lot of, I've tasted it now that I've had a couple of jobs and I've had like a little bit of success with some of the ventures that I'm doing with my friend. I know what that feels like, but I also know what it takes away from you, and how much of a FOMO you feel if you're not a part of it. I'm a part of the system right now. I am a part of the machine. Um, and is it the best way of life? Absolutely not. I know people around me who, for the outsiders, would look like this is an absolute dream job. But I know how sick they get, I know how stressed they are, I know how tired they feel, I know how their body aches, I know how they come back home, they eat junk because that's all they can eat. I know how people struggle, and I'm aware of what's happening. At one point when I was in India, I thought, oh, I'm going to come to the US, I'm going to live a happy, jolly life walking around in New York. I can walk in New York, I can go there, I sometimes do, but I just want to convey that, hey, this is not necessarily reflective of success, which comes down to your path. Before I say this, a little disclaimer is, please um, take nothing that I say in absolutes. I want to be very clear about that, um, none of my opinions should mean anything to you. My opinions are for you to maybe, hopefully, if it makes sense, align with you and probably offer you some perspective. If it doesn't, feel free to throw this in the trash and like dislike my video, please. I would want that actually, because I want more reality checks. I want people to tell me I'm shit. I want that. That's fine. Um, what was I? Yeah, I was talking to you about your way. So right now you open Instagram, you have a lot of influencers prescribing their way of life. Some are super disciplined, some are not. There's one hippie in the middle of a mountain. There's one man dipping his face in Saratoga water, running across a parking lot. So it's very polarizing, and you have a lot of ways of life. Um, Please don't follow any of this, because your individual experience can carve your own way of life, and based on all of these daily attributions that you gain, all of these different points of information that you have gained from your experience, take some time to reflect and then carve your own best way out from your own experience, whatever that may be for you. Because I believe that life has to be a mixture of everything. It has to be days of focus, it has to be days of rest, it has to be days of play, it has to be days of whatever it is. But I believe that it's everything. It's having a nurturing community around you. It's also taking solitary walks when you can't deal with people. It's a mixture of everything. So please don't believe that someone else's way of life is your way of life. I think that's so scary, and I fell into that trap, believing that that is supposed to be my way of life. But then your way of life is literally your way of life. You wake up in the morning and you decide what your life is going to be like. That's all it is. You decide what your version of success is going to be like. So that's the first thing. Fundamentally, know that it is a gift to pave your own way. Obviously, there are people who have done it, and it's good to cherry pick some nice things from people, like discipline and mindset and thoughts and all of that, because we're all ultimately a part of, we're conditioned and we're all programmed. But it's also nice to carve your own path without fear. um, and that way, you'll feel like your experience is unique, and you'll feel like you're not like a copycat, even though we are all copycats. That's like the most important thing, which is something that I'm learning to do right now. um, and the second thing is realizing that even with following your path or someone else's path, you're not necessarily going to find euphoric happiness, because I don't think that's the way of life. I think, again, the way of or nature of life is change. Everything is constantly changing. Emotions change, feelings change, people come, people go. Life is interesting in that sort of sense. So don't necessarily, I would say, associate happiness with reaching like a sort of destination, because I've reached a couple of destinations, and I've like checked some of the boxes that I really wanted to check. I've always wanted to come to New York my entire life. I've had it on my desktop wallpaper, and I know that there were days that I felt miserable in the city as well. There were days where I felt equally happy, which is what I'm trying to convey, is like, you're not going to have like this one euphoric feeling when you reach the destination. You're always going to have problems and situations that you need to deal with, and responsibilities that you need to bear. Um, and the journey gets lighter when you're more aligned with what you want to do. And what do I mean by alignment? Obviously, it's in this world with a lot of responsibilities and hardships and health issues and family problems, it's hard to find something that you like to do, at least. And that also is a privilege. But if you can, and if you have the ability to, and if you have the privilege to, then definitely see if you can find something in your life which still brings you that success, because we are constrained by this capitalistic model, and societies function like this. See if you can find something that brings you some sort of fulfillment. See if you can get through the day, by doing something that you at least like. If not, find those things for yourself. Find those things for yourself. um, I have this little thing where I am like, okay, if you like making shoes, then if you want success, then just start a shoe factory. That way you're still building out your shoes, or you're still making your shoes, but You're just doing it at scale, and you're also working in accordance with this model, which is not the best model. It's not the greatest model, obviously, and I have beef with this model, but it's the way of the world. So yeah, I just wanted to convey that. Obviously, I'm still figuring it out, and my opinions mean should mean nothing to you. But I just wanted to share that there is no particular destination in your life that's going to bring you that ultimate euphoric feeling. Um, Life is ebbs and flows and ebbs and flows, and it's better to carve your own path, derive your own meaning from your own experiences. Um, but yeah, I just want to share that. I want to do more of these. Definitely not from the perspective of sort of proving a point, but just again conveying what is objective, at least in my opinion, um, to make some sort of subjective change in your life. I don't even know if that last sentence made sense. I'm so sleep deprived. But thank you for tuning in wherever you are, and hope you have a good day.